Greetings. Welcome to another episode of COMETSA Television Network, CTN, The Mind, the Journey, the Destiny. We apply our minds to the journey that takes us to our destiny. Our shows are based on the principle we call the idea. We inform, entertain, we develop, educate, we empower and support, we associate, and network. That's the idea. Welcome. The COMETSA Tuesdays are back, and they are back with a big bang. We've just launched our new portal, My Membership Portal. This is a self-service type of a portal. We wanted our members not to be passive, but be actively in charge of their own portfolios on the portal, manage their own platform in terms of the networks, or what we call mind power platforms that they will use to reach out to each other. My name is Sam Zima. I am your host, and I'm going to be, of course, joined by the two colleagues, the two members, not only the members, but the business associates of COMETSA. They will tell you what they are all about. It's George Mutenda Zamera and Magolove Franz Ramudla. We're not just colleagues here on the platform or in the business, but we're friends of many years. So we are kickstarting these Tuesdays, first Tuesday of the month, with a dedication to our members. So if you are a member of COMETSA, just keep in mind that the first Tuesday of every month this time, there will be one or two members that we want to know about them. And today we have George and Franz to do that. Greetings, colleagues, welcome. What a pleasure to kickstart the Tuesdays with the two of you. George, greetings to you, and say hi to the listeners and the viewers.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. It's been quite a while since we were last on air with COMETSA. I can't remember the number of months now, but it's an absolute pleasure to be back and connecting with our audience and sharing ideas and thoughts. I am the founder and CEO at Vula Unlock Consulting. I focus on executive and leadership coaching. I'm a trainer and a facilitator. I'm also published a book. I'm an author. I do keynote speaking. And I focus on big, hairy, audacious goals. I like to talk about goals and goal setting. I've just stepped down as the president of the Johannesburg chapter of the Professional Speakers Association of Southern Africa. And if there are any aspiring speakers out there, whether you're in Joburg or in other parts of South Africa, there are chapters right across the country. I would encourage you to join, to grow your confidence and be the best speaker you can be. So I'm excited to be here, Sam, and looking forward to contributing.
Beautiful, beautiful. I look forward. Yes, George, it's been a long time, and we're missing these COMETSA Tuesdays, but we're back. We're back, and they are going to be even much more exciting. Magolo Franz Ramudla, how have you been? And greetings to you, and of course, say hi to the viewers.
Greetings to you, Witwachani, and greetings to the audience. My name, as Brasem said, is Franz Makulove Ramudla. Yeah, my interests are in transport. My interests are in transport, community development, and also working on with a business that looks at the comfort of the people, because we are providing mobile VIP toilets, VIP fridges, and VIP kitchen. In line with the fourth industrial revolution, we are making sure that our business is not just common sense. We are transforming the nature of the products that we are providing, looking at automation and looking at, recently we are trying to see how artificial intelligence can fit into our business. Yeah, it's long that we have not been in the studio for our usual COMETSA streaming, and I'm happy that we are back again to take from where we left. Thanks.
Beautiful, beautiful. Indeed, it's been a long time and we are happy to be back. I still remember the journey that we traveled together during COVID. That was the time when we took ourselves through a development program, George, and we learned all the ins and outs of streaming, online radio, and look at yourself, George, and subsequent to that, you joined the Speakers Forum. You became the president of the Speakers Forum chapter in Gauteng. That was not even in the plan. The universe just, in a way, delivered it. I think we sometimes need to understand that we do things and we do invite things by what we do. And I'm glad that you have had that experience. And I hope that helps you even more on this platform as you take people through what we are going to be taking them through. But let's look at what we are about. One of the key features of the platform that we have launched, the platform that kept us so busy for almost the first quarter of the year, COMETSA My Membership Portal. The word "my" suggests that it is your portal. As long as you are a member and you are on the portal, you are in control. In corporate, people talk about self-service or self-help. And that's what we put together, George. Let me just get your reflection. I know it's early days. You only just got onto the platform very recently, because we only launched on the 1st of May, by the way. So if you want to experience the portal, you can go to cometsa-goc.com, and right at the bottom, scroll down, you will be able to see the portal where it requests you to join either as an individual or as a corporate member. Or if you are an existing member, there's also an icon where you can actually log in. It's called Member Login. And you just have to log in there, and then voila, you are on your own with yourself, your own portal, and you can look at your own profile. And you can actually populate your profile, decide on the Lekgotla network that you want to be part of, something that is very exciting, we're going to talk about in the coming weeks. And then, of course, you have a choice to decide which of our development agencies you will want to volunteer yourself and contribute to development. That's just some of the features. We'll talk about those. That's why the title of the show is COMETSA My Membership Portal, and then, of course, member updates and the member profiling series. We'll still come back to the two of you to know you better. But just, George, as a member of the COMETSA Friends and Supporters Club, how do you personally define yourself within this ecosystem, and how will you want to be known? I know you have introduced yourself, but in the context of this mastermind group, how will you want fellow members of COMETSA to look at you as that they can access from the mastermind group?
Thanks, Sam. It's pouring down here. I don't know which part of South Africa you are, but I'm telling you, it's pouring, it's raining, and we are in May. Ah, my word. Anyway, so I see myself as a professional and executive coach. That's the membership that speaks to me, professional and executive coach. But if you go into the portal, you will see that there's also opportunities for motivational speaker membership. Now, for a guy like me, I do keynote speaking, and within that, I motivate and inspire. So in terms of priority, your number one would be executive and professional coach. Then I would come down into the motivational speaking. But I would also want to talk as a facilitator and as a moderator. So there's so much breadth and width for anyone who wants to join the platform. It gives you so many options and more opportunities for you to identify yourself. But as for me, that's how I'm starting. But I've also looked and seen there's all sorts of opportunity in there. The one thing I enjoyed a little bit more, because I'm very much a faith-driven person. You have something that says like spiritual services development and support, and I'm like, wow, this thing takes care of everybody. So what I would encourage people to do really is just take some time, go in and just play around, look, press a button, see this, read that, and then at the end of it, come out and you are guaranteed there will be areas that will inspire you. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, Sam.
Wonderful. I've taken note of that, George. I've always said, George, the executive and professional coach. Now I know, and of course I knew that you are a motivational speaker, but I think you are saying to me that I need to add another aspect of who you are, and that is you are a motivational speaker, and people can engage you on that basis. And then, of course, you are a facilitator. Wonderful. I make note of that. And by the way, what George is talking about, you can access it at COMETSA-GOC.com. And just go there and look for a button, individual application, corporate application, and if you're a member, log in. And once you are inside, you will see the 43 different kinds of Lekgotla networks. That's what George is talking about. And you choose at least 3 of those. That's how we are going to know you as. I need to get used to seeing you, George, as a coach, motivational speaker, and facilitator. How powerful that is. George, love that. I really love that. And this is a mastermind group platform, if you like. Magulu, I know you as somebody who is in the transport industry, somebody that is also providing comfort to people. But I also know you as somebody coming from social work background. I don't know when you went onto this platform, which of the top 3 did you decide to add to your profiling within the COMETSA Mastermind Group? Over to you.
As you have indicated that I'm a social worker by profession, before I am a business person. I'm a former president of the South African Black Social Workers Association. And our mission was to provide social workers and auxiliary workers with skills that are portable and marketable across commerce and industry. So COMETSA has given me the opportunity to unleash my potential. The programs that we have gone through in COMETSA has really developed me a lot. And it's given me the opportunity wherever I go. I wanted to make sure that the people in my circle are able to enjoy what COMETSA is providing. So yes, professional development, which is the core of the services of COMETSA, it's what I'm enjoying at COMETSA.
Beautiful. I know some of the COMETSA members know you as Mr. Lekgotla.
Yes. I'm one of the people that participated in the foundation of Lekgotla that basically taught us discipline. It taught us a formal way of running the Lekgotla's formal way of running the meetings, where we are also respecting the person in charge and all the participants during the Lekgotla. Thanks.
Beautiful. For our viewers from all over the world that may not understand what the Lekgotla is, it's the African philosophy or methodology that is used to bring people together under a gathering to either resolve conflict or to even entertain ourselves. You know, you will see people gravitating towards a cycle in the way they see it. And that cycle, that philosophy is actually based on that. It is actually suggests that we are all equal. Even the chairperson sits in the circle, and his job is not to command, but is to actually be part of the participants, and at the end, then he will be able, through consensus, sum it up. Only then sometimes you realize, oh, I didn't know that George is actually the leader of this gathering. Beautiful. So it takes away all the unnecessary power aspects of a meeting. But we're going to have a Lekgotla Tuesday in the coming weeks. And I'm sure that is the day that Mr. Franz Ramutla will be showing off what his Lekgotla capabilities. So it's a beautiful model indeed. I always liken it to models like World Cafe methodology, where you handle big group of people. You will need the Lekgotla principles to be able to keep the teams focused. Let's move on with our friend George. So from a professional perspective, George, what value have you extracted so far since you and I last met and journeyed together? And how do you see then the powerful tool like my membership portal actually enriching that and make you able to even to deliver more quality executive coaching, motivational speaking, and facilitation of processes?
Right. Thank you, Sam. I think one of the sessions that we did last year or the year before on this program was on the value of networking. We talked about why networking. And I remember at some stage somebody saying there's the word working in there. So there's net and there's the word working. And why I mentioned that, it's when I joined this group, it opened opportunities to knowing new people, creating new relationships, and new business opportunities. And so quite apart from getting to know each of these individuals, I can pick up the phone and talk business. And the power of speaking to somebody who you network with on business is amazing, because it takes away, I think, the power dynamics you were talking about in the Lekgotla circle, that when you don't have power dynamics, I can pick up and talk to Sam, I can talk to my brother and Franz here, and without the trappings of these power dynamics. So for me, that was the biggest one, just networking and widening my circle. And then the next step from there is that I don't know whether people know that I coach, Sam will go out there, find a client, and we bring together coaches, and we help clients with our expertise. And the beauty of that is that there's a bigger variety of coaches on the platform. And so you can service one client with a variety of talents that sit on the platform. And so I would encourage people to get on the platform, not necessarily just to be able to participate in coaching, but in any of the other things that are on the platform, and to network. The value for me of networking is huge. I don't know what price I could put on it, but anyone who is in our kind of business, you must network. That is the lifeblood of our business, and this.
Absolutely. And just taking it up from there and talking about this concept of networking, it is more than actually putting forward your offerings. It's more like cultivating the environment where we find ourselves as coaches, that we know one day when there's a request for coaches, that will pay itself forward. And I think for me, it's such a wonderful thing to go out and engage with clients, and they say, if I need 50 coaches, will you provide them? And then I know that I'm not going to put an advert and say I'm looking for 50 coaches. They are there on the platform. I can actually see their profile. And more than that, They are part of our journey. I'm not going to ask them to present themselves so that I get to know them. I know exactly their offerings. I think that's a very powerful thing. And now that you are in control of your own portal, that means I don't have to write you, George, on that Ramutla. I don't have to write you an email and say, please send me your latest certificate of ICF or send me your latest profile. They are there because you are managing it, and as and when you renew your membership, you upload it there, we can see it. And if I see that your membership certificate is valid, then I know everything else is valid. So I think that's really for me also as a member of the platform. That's what I like. But I feel like I've got power in my hands that I can make use of, and it works for me at the time when I need it. You know. Makulube, you interacted a little bit with the platform. You know, I mean, as I said, it's early days. I don't know what was the first thing you did when you received the email about the launch of the platform.
Oh, the first thing I did was to activate it because, as you say, it's something that you are going to do it on your own. So when I saw the platform first, I appreciated it. Second, I made sure that I start activating it so that then I activate my membership on the portal. And it was very user-friendly, and it gave me the opportunity also to review my profile. And yeah, my profile is being reviewed now. But also, it also gave me the opportunity to reflect back from where we come from in our deliberations with in COMETSA. Some of the programs that we worked on sharpened my leadership, and therefore I was very much happy to continue in working through COMETSA, and the platform is going to give us the opportunity to work more.
Didn't you feel like the way I felt, you know, the day we launched, even though I was working with the project team in putting together this platform, but the day it went live and I is now logged in as a member, I must be honest with you, I could relate to it. It gave me some sense of an identity and a belonging. And I was like, what is the difference? Because the organization is still the same, but now that we have this digital platform that actually speaks to me, I felt more in line with the organization, even though I'm the person behind in the organization in terms of the administration. But I felt like when I was clicking there, my username, my password, going into my profile and populating things and going into networks and subscribing to networks, I felt like I was driving my own vehicle. Didn't you feel that way, George? And that Ramut?
Well, that is the my part that you talked about as you started. That it's my. So you go in there and you do what you want to do on it, and that's the aspect that's different from what it was in the past when we didn't have a platform. We had a platform, but you would get hold of Michael, and Michael would do all sorts of things. But now this is my platform, and so I can engage and relate with it directly.
Yeah, I think what was very interesting was the different options that one can belong to. As I was looking at it, then I realized that I belong to about two to three of the streams that are made available there. And I was happy that although Prasem says there is nothing called retired, but I was happy to realize that I belong to the senior group that is being catered for by COMETSA. I also became very happy to see that there is also an NPO platform that one can participate into. And the third one was the professional platform, where leadership can participate in that platform. It was very exciting because it gives one the opportunity to contribute, to learn within those platforms.
Beautiful, beautiful. People have to experience this to understand what it is we're talking about. And I'm talking like a 16-year-old at the moment, so excited about something that I feel in control. The other aspect, which is a real beautiful takeaway from this, sometimes when you belong to you apply to an organization for membership, they approve you and then they write you a letter and say you are now a member. Now you still have to write to them to say, please send me my certificate and my card, or send me a letter also, my company wants to put it in my employment file so that I can prove that I belong to a professional body. But what's so beautiful about my membership portal that we are talking about now, the moment I populated everything, including when I join the organization, I then go under templates, and it gives me what we are going to be talking about just now, what we call professional membership assets, which is basically you automatically, by a click of the button under templates, you download your own membership card. A credit card size membership card. And what's so beautiful about it, with a QR code. Now, the value of that QR code is that if you send that membership card to somebody and they doubt if your membership is up to date, they just need to scan that QR code and immediately tell them the status of your membership at COMETSA. And I was like, wow, that is really like instantaneously there. And it's the same thing with the certificate. You press that. I tell you, I have downloaded my own certificate. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I just wanted to download it because it also has a QR code. So you can decide, depending on who out there that you want to do business with that is asking for your credentials, you can immediately give those two options, plus the letter that is, and also digitally signed. And I was like, George, we were talking about return on membership. Maybe talk to that, because it is really what we are proposing to people out there to say, come and be part of us and experience return on membership. We want to talk that project.
Yeah, sure. But first, I wanted just to say to Franz, he was excited about having put an arrangement for retirees. And I was saying, no, COMETSA is being very sensitive to human rights by including that. All right, so I think when I discussed with them, I was talking about return on investment. So business people are always looking at a return on investment. I have put my money in. What am I getting out of this thing? And at the end of the day, if your investment is negative, the return is negative, you don't want to be in that place. But if your return is positive, which is what this portal will give you, then now you're in the right place. Because you see, return on membership is not only are you creating the networks, the opportunities to get business opportunities, but you're actually in the, shall we say, in the technical age, because now you've got QR codes, etc. You're no longer in the Stone Age. This is the latest and the best. And so, yeah, it really is a worthwhile investment, I must say, when you measure the return.
Absolutely. And Ramutla, you'll remember you and I, we come a long way together in the 90s in South Africa, belonging to various bodies. I was belonging to a professional body, Black Management Forum, and you belonged to South African Black Social Workers Association. And we shared the Johannesburg branch, which I was working for, and you were head office. We shared one floor at Marshalltown. Literally, George, the next door to mine was South African Black Social Workers Association. Me with the Black Management Forum Johannesburg branch. We just became one body. And that is where I met Franz Ramutla, and we never actually go on separate ways. Today we are more than friends, we are professional. So To me, what I think we are now starting to say here is that, as Brother George was saying, we live in the digital era. But this digital era is also infiltrated by a lot of scams. You don't know the authenticity of the person that you are doing business with or networking with. You don't know whether the piece of document they are giving you that they say is a certificate of recognition. You don't know the authenticity with this QR code. It speaks to something that Ramuta, that you and I think we wish we can go back to those days and run those organizations with a solution like this. A QR code that is embedded there. You don't even need to certify that certificate. You don't need to certify it, because that QR code, whether it's a photocopy or original, you can still scan it and it takes you straight to verification. I mean, Dadara Mutla, did you ever know that we will live to reach this stage and experience this advancement in technology?
We never dreamt of it, but I'm very much fortunate to be part of COMETSA with all this transformation and innovations. And I have made a decision that with this return on membership, I have identified people that I would like to come and join us and enjoy this investment as well. So I'm definitely going to do that. And also, part of the work that I'm doing, you know, I'm the secretary of Tembisa Coordinated Welfare Organization. We are trying to introduce these innovations in our NGOs. But with this NGO I'm running, we are just about to conclude an arrangement with COMETSA so that this innovation filters into our NGO and other NGOs. So yeah, last time we spoke about it, and then I think very soon we will finalize it.
Yeah, I'm very excited that we are able to actually through this platform, we can have a lot of collaboration. Because our whole idea is this technology is scalable, and we can really engage as many organizations as possible. And now with people like George, executive coaches and mentors out there, accessibility is really, really very easy. By the way, we have introduced what we call tertiary students membership. This is the membership category for those students that are at the universities that are still studying. Because we found out that for us to wait for the students to graduate, then go into the world of work, and then only then expose them to coaching and mentoring, it's almost like running behind them instead of us being ahead of them and engaging with them and give them the coaching so that they arrive really in the industry. And I think Brother George will agree with me that this collaboration that we've been having in the past 2 years in coaching is real. We're not talking something that we are just claiming. Literally, when we get a company that say, I need 6 coaches, and we have George and them and the others as coaches, they are deployable. We don't have to sit and negotiate contracts. We have got memorandum of understanding signed off. We have got service level agreements. The only thing we discuss is the price and the availability. So I think what we are saying, George, maybe you can speak to this. It's one thing to say we have coaches, and it's another thing to have access to them. And I think this is the thing. It's not. Sam must not go and struggle to market himself. George must not go and struggle to market. There must be a common place where people find us all. They should rather say, no, I don't want George, I want Franz Ramudla, right? And I think this is what these streams we have launched, where people, they join, and there are 3 categories you can choose from: tertiary student membership, ordinary membership, or retired professionals membership, as Ramudla said. And then from there, we put what we call CUS, which is the category of upgraded special membership, which is like, if you want to upgrade to that level, where now you can join Vopra George and them, you pay additional money to go into those streams. That's where the mastermind groups are. If you want to join a group of motivational speakers, you have to upgrade, and then join that stream. And then within that stream, we find Prageorge and the others that are there with people identified to champion them. So now you can have actually your own network in the true sense, because you have a membership card, everything. When you decide to meet for a cup of coffee, you can literally just scan your thing and say, no, now you are real. I can tell that. And now, that's where now you could even now scale up the offering to the corporates. That's why we also have a corporate membership. We're saying that companies don't keep on sending RFPs and having a lot of work. Yes, you still need that for compliance purposes. But if you are a corporate member of COMETSA, you literally have access to the stream of coaches that are not only meeting each other because they need to do business, but they are actually belonging to a mastermind group. They're growing together and they are aligned. So they are continuously learning. So that for me is a very serious value proposition. That's why I call it return on membership, not only for individuals, but for corporates and associate organizations like Frans Ramuta's NGO that we're going to work with. So, and I think that goes with times that we are in South Africa, where so much is being questioned these days. On what basis do companies collaborate? On what basis do organizations collaborate? If you haven't been collaborating before and you just collaborate because there's a tender, the chances are that you are not ethical about it. Because you didn't see a need to be together. You only see a need now that you need each other to help each other to get the money. But you don't even really know what your purpose is of being together, right? You see what I mean? So that for me is another return on membership. It's good for companies because then they minimize the risk of getting people into their businesses. That didn't really mean good. Because if they meant good, they should have been together all along, so that they can actually do things together. So that's really the point. But let me hold it there and open the floor to two of you again, and I'll come back to the portal and the membership. This is your day. As I was saying, that COMETSA Tuesdays, when we get together, the first Tuesday is dedicated to the members. And I'm sure we'll call you back because today we are just launching. But what do you want as a member? What do you want people to know about belonging? You know, I know I'm repeating myself, but what is the value proposition for belonging to organizations, and this organization, other than just the technical thing we are sharing, psychologically and spiritually, George, as we have said. Because we are not just about business, we are human beings. We belong to the humanity.
Yeah. Well, for a start, being part of a grouping of professionals on its own is a plus. You have what I would call a safety net. People you can bounce ideas off. I'm coaching somebody. This has come up. What does it mean? How do you interpret it? You are getting wisdom from fellow professionals. But what I wanted to point out to the listeners is, I think last year or the year before, we went in and talked about what is coaching. We talked about the definitions of all these of coaching methods, etc. These are things that we will revisit, because when someone is listening and is hearing George is a coach, Frans is the question, what is a coach? And so there will be opportunities to actually explain and the value that lies in it for individuals, because it's often misunderstood. And when you're a member of COMETSA, the mastermind, there is nothing more valuable than a mastermind. A mastermind is multiplying your own understanding of what you do, multiplying your shall we say, wisdom, because now you're relying on colleagues to help you come through with through issues. I've introduced something I'll talk about now, what is called the leadership circle, which we will have once a month, where we get 10 business leaders in a room and really discuss and share on whatever their current issues are. But here's the thing. It comes from the facilitation that we've mentioned earlier, that we are facilitators also, we are coaches, but that facilitation is very important because you are learning every day from your colleagues within COMETSA on how to do this better, etc. So what is the value? There's so much value in becoming a member of COMETSA.
Beautiful, indeed. And the network cycle will just grow. There will be a network here within COMETSA platform and the membership, and that will also grow into other networks that through us that we are bringing in. So it's definitely the objective. Somebody's asking if we can update details after generating the membership assets. Absolutely. You have your own password and username. Anytime, 24/7, you can always go there and change it. The moment you change the details, automatically the system update your membership assets. Obviously, if you need to send it somewhere, you need to immediately download a new one. So it's instantaneously updated. It doesn't need to be fixated. That is the digital part of it that I really appreciate. So that's why we want to make it clear to the members that it's up to you to make sure that your documents are up to date, your profile is up to date, because a request can come at any point in time, and you shouldn't be restricted just because the office is closed. So that is really the value of digitalization, is the value of this portal. Lorraine did mention that the network is unstable. I've just asked her to confirm for us if the network is better now. And then somebody was asking, are these QR codes valid internationally for verification use? Absolutely. There are no borders. It doesn't matter where you are. It's the same as the QR code you see on the screen there. You can scan that QR code. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. It is global. And by the way, that also speaks to membership. If you go into our portal, you will see it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can belong to us as a member and also join this network. I would like to have many international people that are joining our Lekgotla network, because there's African philosophies in coaching are so much in demand. There is Ubuntu coaching, there is the Lekgotla network coaching, there's a communal collective way of coaching. They might not have been verified empirically in terms of research, and that's why we are here. We want to start doing more research, benchmark these philosophies against known philosophies like time to think, you name it. So yes, membership is borderless. And we're talking about Africa as one, and we're talking about the world as one. Africa is the future. The world is.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was burning inside of me when you mentioned the African frameworks, because all what we have, the literature that we have around coaching, most of it, if not 90% of it, looks at the world through the Western lens. We see the world through the Western lens. Now, I'm not saying there's something wrong with it. I'm saying the African frameworks complement, because some of the things that people see or hear about, we're happening here in Africa, but no one had documented them. So what's happening here, and what Brasem is talking about, is the fact that actually now we have these frameworks and we can utilize them to grow people, to develop people. And that's so powerful, because then we're not just looking at the world through a Western lens. We're looking at the world holistically, and we are saying, yeah, but there are frameworks here that can help you. And that's a powerful point. I just couldn't hold myself, because I really want to.
I'm as excited as you, George, because I mean, you have seen the role Africa is playing all over the world. And of course, the world also playing the role in Africa. And with this platform and these technologies, the knowledge is limitless. And we were very intentional when we launched this My Membership portal. We made it clear that we wanted to accommodate people of the world to become part of us. And the reason we do that is not just us wanting to have membership from all over the world, It's about us wanting to engage with the world. And the only way to do that is through platforms like that. But we also want the world to be part of us, and we want to be part of the world. So if you're sitting somewhere in London or you're sitting in Tokyo and you belong to our platform, when you come in and you are a member, the only identity that is common among us, we belong to the same mastermind group. Yeah, and you see that also, George, and when we talk about the ICF, we have had so many conversations, so many coaches from all over the world. I belong to the ICF diversity series where we talk about diversity, inclusion, and all that. Those issues have to be informed. The debates in those forums have to be informed by inputs from all over the world. And we cannot be left out of those sessions as Africa. And the world can't be left out of deliberations and conversations in Africa. And that, for me, is what I think my membership portal is doing for us. And there's many other networks will reach out as a result of that. And I think that is exciting that we have the COMETSA Tuesdays coming, because then every Tuesday, this time of the night, we will be talking to the world from Africa.
Yes, our international organization for social workers is International Federation of Social Workers Associations. Already for some time, there's been engagement on the role of technology in social work. Obviously, I am privileged to be in COMETSA because now, as you have just indicated, we need to reach out to the world, and therefore, when I'm with my colleagues in the social work field, I'll be able to take the value that I've got from COMETSA into the deliberations there, and that's where we will also be able to get membership registering to COMETSA, not only locally but also internationally.
Absolutely. And you're going to be amazed how many of the local organizations in this country that are ready to be taken to where we are going. That's why I like the collaboration, because we've got platforms, we've got cell phones. So we are not going into the world alone in that. We are going into the world with everybody else. And we are not saying that when people belonging to COMETSA, they stop belonging somewhere else. In fact, we want them to belong to us with all their organizations. We are just part of a bigger movement of actually registering our presence in the world. And we are actually saying that we are in collaboration. It is the world needs this continent together. The world doesn't need a divided continent. So even in the area of knowledge space, we cannot be competing on theories that Africa wants to contribute to the world. And it's for that matter that we made sure that the membership application is fully digital from when you register to a point when you pay your membership. We have payment gateways. You don't need to be sending us dollars. You just swipe and the system will convert to whatever currency that we put in there. It is a full empowerment. Whenever we are saying you are in full control, it's almost like we just build a highway and you must just bring your car and drive on it. That for me was the whole concept behind it. You can't be creating a facility at the same time wanting to control it. Then you are not actually empowering. You are restrictive, and you can't even see the magnitude of what it is that you want to do. So we sat down based on the previous experiences of the platform we use, and we became imaginative. And I must be happy to say that imagination process was guided by really serious professionals behind us. We were the minds, but we had to say design engineers and behind it that designed this thing with a clear brief. And now look at it. Now we can ride on the highway, and we can even invite more people, and we can collaborate with other organizations of the similar stature. But what I like is, as I repeat myself, we want to take everybody along. It's not about controlling. So yes. From today onwards, I hope we'll have this forum going beyond the continent project and in contributing. So I want to come back to you. when you come back next time, because we're going to invite you where we're going to be dedicating to you, what will you be bringing back, George? How will you go about packaging the evening that is to be fully dedicated to Vula Unlock? I know you might not have the answers now, but I'm just wanting you to think aloud. When we say the first Tuesday of the month is a Tuesday for one of our members to be positioned in terms of what they do, what will you want to package and come and offer to this mastermind networking group?
Right. When you are engaging an audience about what you do, it's very important to start with who you are. Who is Vula? Who is George? For people to understand, because that feeds into what you do. So when next I'm sitting here, I'm not going to start to talk about this is the service I provide, this is that. I'm going to start talking about actually who am I and why am I where I am? And how do I see the world, and how I see the world benefits engagement with you. Then I will talk about what I do. Why? Because there's always a story behind why Sam is sitting where he's sitting there and why my friend Franz is where he is. There's a story behind what motivates and what drives them. And therefore, what drives me and the lens through which I see the world might actually encourage somebody sitting there who has no interest in coaching, but is hearing a story that resonates with them. And they might say, hey, wait a minute, let me find out, not maybe to get coached, but to find out how they themselves can move forward in whatever direction they want to go based on what they have heard from me. And so I find it very useful that as we talk, we really flesh out who is the person behind, why are they doing what they are doing, what are they hoping to get, and what energizes them. What, as I go to bed, what makes me say, wow, this was a great day. Because when I can say that, it means I've made input into someone's life. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited, Sam, to see you.
There is a mastermind class on its own, George. Perhaps you may want to have another session, a Lekgotla session, where you will be guiding people how to use fruitfully the Tuesdays that are dedicated to them. Okay. Because it can be a wasted opportunity. Okay. I know you, because you have done this several times, it is unnatural that you start the way you start. But for people that have been very much focused on selling their services, they lose the opportunity of exactly addressing the points you raised, because you do what you do because of who you are. But now when you are given the opportunity to present yourself, you can't just start by saying, this is what I offer. So making a mental note of that, there is, in our Lekgotla conversations, there is some of the networks that speak to how you position yourself in a way that it's not being seen as taking advantage of people, but you want to take people along to know who you are so that they can really see why you do what you do. That's a very interesting one, George. Listeners, members of COMETSA out there, and stakeholders and friends, you have heard it. The day we choose you to come and talk to us is also about you educating us about your organization and yourself. So that will be the opportunity. Makulu, I know you are a serial entrepreneur. Now that you've left and you went into full-time in what you do. You run the NGO, you run the transport business, and you run the toilet business. What do you call it? You said you're giving comfort to people.
Yeah.
How does someone that is involved in serial entrepreneurship position himself without creating confusion?
Well, there is a concept called maximizing localized efficiencies. It means we must do things that have got impact. More often than not, you find that we have a lot of inputs in terms of resources, but the processing process up to outcome impact is not there, because as we are speaking now, I'm assessing what impact is our program going to do? What impact is our innovation and transformation that we are talking about here in terms of technology? How is it going to make impact? And therefore, when we come back, we need to make sure that we package our programs in such a way that they will have an impact. Obviously, people are talking about impact in terms of how the program is benefiting them professionally, is benefiting them financially. So we need to try and package our discussions as we go on, so that we make sure that there is integration between theory and practice, so that then people are able to benefit holistically.
I can't wait for that day, Dr. Ramut, when we hear from you how you balance all these multiple responsibilities. I know the transport side is very demanding. Of course, the family help there, but you the head, and that head needs to function proper at all times. And maybe that's where the spiritual services comes in to say, how do I ensure mental stability, emotional stability, so that I still make sense when I engage with the problems? And I think Brother George will agree with me that since coaching really started occupying spaces it's occupied, people started to realize that the performance of people and business people in general, in particular, depends very much on how stable they are emotionally and spiritually, because there's never enough time for everything, but you need to be in the right space, and that's where coaching comes in. That's another master class. I'm looking at time, and I think we have done very well in terms of covering quite a number of things. I want you to think about checking out of the conversation, and I appreciate the many viewers that are sending comments out there. Some of them I will get back to them when I sit down and look at it, because quite a lot of feedback. We appreciate that. Let's just reflect on what have we confirmed with this conversation when it comes to belonging to mastermind groups, in this case in the form of belonging to an organization as a member. Any aha moments that we experienced during this conversation as we were listening to ourselves and reading comments there? Any new insights that you think we brought up? The take home, and then of course new behaviors that you think we must inculcate in to maximize the benefits of belonging. Let's take one at a time. What have we confirmed by this conversation, George?
Certainly, it's there is a return on membership. There is a return on investment, and we went through what are those: the networking, the learning, the whatever. There's a return, and as a start, most people will look at that. Why am I buying this, guy? Is there a return? Yes. And then we move on from there and say, okay, what are the other finer details? But I would say there's a definite return on investment by this.
We have confirmed that we might be doing our innovations locally, but it is also relevant internationally. We have to make sure that we move beyond the the boundaries in Africa and international.
That is valuable indeed. And as somebody was asking if these QR codes can be accessed internationally, so that is the whole idea. That's the intention. Great stuff. During the conversation, there must be some times or moments where, as you were listening and reflecting, pennies dropped. How many pennies dropped? At what point did you have experienced a penny dropping? Where you say, now we got it.
I suppose for me, it just getting those coaching, motivation, etc., as separate but one unit. I don't know whether in the platforms, and this is something you may want to think about. There's program directors, or what people call them MCs, etc. Because in our role as trainers and facilitators, sometimes you're working with executives, etc. They have a conference and they're looking for a program director. They will call on us to do, although we don't write anywhere that we are program directors. But when you join the platform, now all the things that you do, even though they may not be number one on the priority list, you will then be able to showcase everything that you do. And so there is a benefit that comes from becoming part of the platform.
Absolutely. We have a stream of moderators. Indeed, the idea of you belonging to a particular stream or mastermind groups is not to exclude others. It just means focus on these three, but hey, you could be called into service that has nothing to do with any of the three. Because of the relatedness of human capital development interventions. It is a very valuable point that I want us to emphasize. Don't feel that because you are limited to three, then the rest of the others you will not be wanted. No, absolutely, when it comes to opportunities and it comes to requests to come and moderate, you will be called over. Depending on how much you mind your network, or also how much we are aware of your expertise. In fact, this afternoon, I just got an invitation from a fellow business professional friend to come and visit his podcast studio and do a recording on leadership. So we are focused, but we are available, broadly speaking. Yes, absolutely, George. The answer is yes. So, any aha moment for you, Ndadaramut?
The aha moment for me was that now we are working on a membership system that is coordinated and integrated, and it also gives people multiple belongings in terms of the streams that are provided when you are applying for your membership.
Beautiful. Spot on. Lovely. Let's proceed. In terms of new insights, I'm very intentional about asking for the new insights because I know how the brain of a human being functions. The more we talk, the more enlightenment happens, if I may use that. The more you talk, the more other things come up that we might have missed when we're putting together the agenda. So that's why I'm asking that question, so that we capture it, even though it might not have been on the agenda. Anything that you were not alerted to when we started these conversations, that during the session pop up and then you want us to note it, George?
Well, I think you've already noted it. And that is, when we came on the show, we were talking about the work that we do, etc. So then you asked me about how would I handle a program. And because I'm a professional speaker, I fully understand that people aren't just interested in what I do this. They want to know a story behind the person. And so it wasn't planned, but I think it was important to bring it up to say, really, that's how you should position it, so that people have a full understanding, a 360, as it were, of who they're going to be engaging.
And following on that, from my side as a producer of the show, immediately I got an insight that says, you can't just invite people to come to COMETSA Tuesdays to talk about what themselves and what they do. You've got to give them some sort of assistance in terms of how to prepare for that, so that they maximize that opportunity, because people could come and within the first 5 minutes, they've said everything they want to say, and actually they don't benefit from being the guest of the night. Yeah. So that's the insights for me. I don't know about you, Dr. Muta, if there's any new insights that you gained.
To be honest, colleagues, I think most of the things that we addressed here were new. All we need to do is to develop them further.
Okay.
But the issue that I have indicated earlier on is for us to make sure that we build in impact into our system, and we should be able to track that impact.
Impact. You know, you remind me of a very famous thing of mine when I facilitate, George. You can measure how much ground you have covered in terms of quantity, but don't forget to measure the impact.
Yes.
And I think that Ramuta, thank you for that, because it's important to ask other people that are listening whether we made any difference for them tuning into the show. So we need to always ask that question. Are we making a difference, or we are just ticking the boxes? That's for me it's just to add to the point. So take away, and I like this one because take away to who from the show. And I always say, maybe there's somebody that didn't tune into the show, and you're going to be having some conversation with them, and then they ask you, from the whole session, what will you say is the major gain for you? Not to suggest that any others are not important, but what stands out from this conversation that you say, this is something I'm taking home with to share with other people? What will that be?
For me, let me use the word sparingly, is to say there is value in belonging to a tribe, to a grouping, to a tribe, because in there's safety, there's comfort, there's your highs where you can input into other people's lives, but there's times where people input into your lives, but because you're part of a tribe, everybody is there for you and supporting you, and similarly you are supporting others. So for me, that's huge. No man is an island is something that we had from many years ago, and it still applies today. You are not an island, but when you are with a tribe, hey, you will benefit.
In Africa, we talk about the child of the village.
There you go.
You are part of the community, and in that community, every wise man there or every elderly there is your mentor.
There you go.
That's the benefit of belonging to the tribe. You are not on your own, just to add to your inputs, George.
Because our engagement today involves a lot of creativity in terms of membership. I belong to organizations that survives on membership. I think I'm going to share this system that we talked about today with all my networks in the social work fraternity.
Beautiful. That's a wonderful takeaway, indeed, Dr. Ramush. Your last remarks, colleagues, as you say goodbye to our international and local viewers, continental viewers, and then, of course, if there's any new practice that you think from tonight onwards you're going to be doing, we will want to hear that as well. Over to you. And then, of course, don't forget to let the people know how they get hold of you if they want to engage with you further. Of course, they can always come to our website to watch further of some of these things. But yeah, over to you, George, closing remarks. And then, of course,
I would encourage people to literally diarize these meetings, because there'll be much to learn from it. So there'll be much to learn, but more important, your input is very important. And so as you tune in, be ready with your pen and paper to take down points that you think, hey, they can improve this program. And so we listen, you listen, and we make this thing a better program for everybody. So that's a big one for me. We want you to be in full attendance, listening and giving input. Yep. So,
beautiful.
Indeed, let's move together. We have made an initiative that would like you to join us, move with us, benefit with us, share with the nation. Thank you.
There we go.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, colleagues George, Tenta Zamera, and Franz Ramutla. These are the long-standing members of COMETSA, fellow business associates and colleagues that partner with us at all times. They are here available when you need them. You'll find them on the platform. Join the platform as well so that you can also be part of these conversations. So we spoke about identity. This membership gives you an identity among fellow professionals, not just identity by the name, but by the kind of things that you do and the services that you make available to contribute to human capital development. What you have experienced today when you started with the show was really more about this My Membership portal that you can access at COMETSA-goc.com. Just go further down there, you'll find the icon on apply as an individual, apply as a corporate member, or log in if you are an existing member. Those are very valuable icons that you must get used to as you visit our website. If you are a corporate, you want to access this wealth of knowledge that is carried by our professional members, it's worth a while to take up that membership. Then you have access to expertise as and when you need them, not only to get them when you have issued an RFP and then they're introducing themselves, and often the chances are that you're not going to get what you are looking for. We are a community of lifelong continuous learning and development. So we sharpen ourselves so that we can be able to be effective in assisting you in your human capital development. What did we mean by assets? There was a question in the chat here from some of the viewers as to, can we put these assets on the social media? I think there was a misunderstanding there. What we say is that the moment you become a member, you are paid up, you belong to us, automatically the system takes the data from your profile and populate a template, and you have your own digital certificate, downloadable immediately, signed with the QR code, so that you can actually show it as evidence to whoever wants to know your status of belonging to our organization. And then we also have a credit card size membership card, which you can also print and laminate and keep it with you, so that when people want to verify your membership, you can do that. So it's almost like your digital identity in as far as your relationship with our organization. And then, of course, some organizations want a signed letter from the organization to say, yeah, you belong to us. Maybe they're paying for your membership and they want to evidence that indeed you have joined COMETSA. So you will get a letter as well that is digitally signed. Those are the professional membership assets we're talking about. Why does it matter? It matters because there's a verification and also credibility. As I indicated earlier on, we live in the world where boundaries and borders are off and everything that goes. And you could find yourself being given things that are not real. And that's why you see things like POPI Act and personal information data protection today is the in thing. Without it, you can't play safely in the digital space. And it's for that reason why verification is important, and those QR codes are there for that purpose. And then, of course, we do say that this is a return on membership, basically the return on the value, return on investment, but we call it return on membership. You get something back for belonging to us. And therefore, the call to action to you is to visit our website, apply online. You will be serviced digitally, and one day, hopefully, we will welcome you physically here or virtually here as one of our guests or as one of the participants. Those are the my closing remarks. George wants to say something?
Yes, because I forgot to mention that you can get hold of me on LinkedIn. So let's connect on LinkedIn. Let's connect on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. So let's connect there. Shoot some questions that you have. Let's talk and let's connect.
That is that expanded network we were talking about. That from here, it expands into more public platforms and the network just becomes a spiral. That's indeed on the social media platform. But even here, when people come back, we will make sure that they get connected with you guys. This is the nucleus, and then from there we spread into the world. George and I, we were at the recent COMETSA workshop, which was another network of coaches in the bigger scheme of things. COMETSA stands for Coaches and Mentors of South Africa. And then, of course, we are also members of the International Coaching Federation. That's even much bigger network. So it is just a way of being one world, one community of professionals helping each other to develop and grow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, colleagues. It has been wonderful. You have laid the ground. You have inaugurated the first Tuesday of the month. We will see who the next member is going to be. And hopefully you will still join and maybe seat them if I may use that. So I want to suggest that if you have been on this platform today, George and Batra, we expect you to be in the next platform when we invite other members, and then you transition out. In other ways, you sit in and give them confidence, reflect at the end, then you are released, and they also continue to do that. Right. So that is a hand-holding approach that we are going to be using. This was COMETSA Television Network, bringing you the COMETSA Tuesdays on behalf of COMETSA Friends and Supporters Club. The mind, the journey, the destiny. We apply our mind to the journey that takes us to our destiny. Our shows are based on the principle we call the idea. We inform and entertain, we develop and educate, we empower and support, we associate and network. That's the idea, and I hope we lived up to that principle. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, every Tuesday, 1800 hours, South Africa Standard Time. We look forward to see you next week, Tuesday, when we bring another episode of COMETSA Television Network. I'm Sam Zima. Goodbye, good night, and take care. Stay in the studio, colleagues, as we disconnect from our audience.